Hey everyone, Kathy the Vegan Prepper here, and I am going to show you my updated 2022 EDC. So, let's get started. Vegan Prepper. Vegan Prepper. Okay, so not much has really changed from the 2021 EDC video, or even actually I think the 2020 EDC video, but a couple things have changed, and then there's potentially going to be changes in the future. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but why don't we just go ahead and get into the actual thing. This is the same backpack that I have been using now for probably about 3 years, and I really love it. I love having a backpack as my personal everyday carry. It's just like infinitely practical, especially having a 3-year-old daughter. She's almost 4 now. But during these years of carrying a diaper bag, being able to have my own purse be a backpack has been so helpful. And even though now I'm not carrying the diaper bag as often, I don't think that there is any way that I'm going to be able to switch back to a regular shoulder, even like a crossbody bag. Like, I love everything being just on my back and super handy. And as you saw, this sits in front. So basically I've got my cell phone in this pouch right here with a wallet case, which I love. It's got, you know, my debit card, my ID, my Costco card, my insurance card, like whatever I might need to grab. It's just right here. So it's not, I'm almost never having to get in and out of the actual backpack when I'm paying or whatever. And so that just sits right here, and it's super handy. Up here, I do still occasionally use this little loop for a mask. If I'm wearing one and I have to take it off, and I put it right here. It's not getting as much use lately. Things are opening up a lot more now. I live in Arizona. We don't have a very large mask culture here. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. However, you know, when I'm going to the doctor or places where you're still like really required to wear one, I do go ahead and wear one. And then this gets used for when I take it off in the car and put it here. I can wear it again later in the same day or whatever. So that is still getting used as a mask holder, but not very much. And I'm honestly not sure what am I going to use it for other than a mask after. I have no idea. If somebody has ideas, give me some ideas. Also, one slight difference from the 2021 video is that I am no longer carrying my Gerber multi-tool inside of this pocket here. I have switched it out for the belt loop, but the belt loop is actually now the strap loop of my backpack. And so it sits right here. And so that is super handy. I can't tell you how often it has come up that I pull this little thing out and use it for whatever I need to use it for. This thing is great. Mr. Vegan Prepper is the one who does all of the gear reviews, but I feel like I should go ahead and give a gear review of this Gerber. It's a Gerber diesel multiplier, and I use the crap out of this thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get reset, and then we're gonna talk about what's in the outer pocket on the back. Okay, so looking at this outer pocket right here, I have still just the same 2 essential oils I talked about before. Balance is great. I think it just sort of makes me smell good. This one's really handy too. Like, I put on a deodorant or whatever, but if I get sweaty and I just sort of still want to smell a bit fresh, I put this one on. It's just got a really wonderful smell. And then I have peppermint for all of the various reasons previously discussed. Is smelling for car sickness, especially if I have a kid in the back who's starting to feel icky, like in the heat. Hand this back and let them start just sort of like waving it under their nose while they're breathing, and it just starts to calm the car sickness down very well. This also works really well for general nausea, whatever. So peppermint is one that I just always carry with me. I almost always have, you know, some form of cough drop in there. So I've currently got 3 cough drops in the front pocket because, oh funny, and some spare change apparently. I've got 3 cough drops in the front pocket just because of the times, right? It's a very, like, I feel really insecure if I get a tickle and I need to cough, just with everyone kind of the way everything is right now. And it's like, I'm not sick, I don't have symptoms, but sometimes, you know, it's really dusty here, you just get a tickle, you just get a cough. And so when you're out and about, so I always have cough drops on hand so that if that should start, I just nip it in the bud as fast as possible. In this larger pocket is kind of all of like the pay dirt. Like this is the main stuff that is in my kit, and it's a little bit different. I was talking in the last video about how I don't like to carry my bag at full capacity, and I feel like I'm hitting that right now. And so I just don't really like that. I may end up switching to a larger backpack without getting too far into it. So my daughter, like I said, she is almost 4, so I'm not really carrying a diaper bag as much now as I have these last few years. And so that is one of the things that I mentioned in previous videos, that I don't really carry a lot of things for my daughter in my bag because she's got her own bag, which goes with us everywhere. But that is probably about to change. So it is entirely possible that in 2023, I will finally have a different bag. Not that I necessarily need to get a new bag for any specific reason. I like to use stuff until it's not usable anymore, but I may need to switch to something just with a little bit more room, because I think I'm going to have to start carrying a few things for her as she's still out and about with me, but no longer with her own bag. So, all right, hooked to the thing here. My husband, actually one of the first things that happened with this bag is the original clip snapped. And so my husband just like stuck a carabiner through the 2 loops that were remaining, and it works perfectly fine. So I have my car keys and my house keys. So last time, I'm very minimalist, so I don't want to like show my key because I don't necessarily want to show the model of car that I own. So I'm going to hide my key fob, but basically I just have a house key. I have the key to my grandmother's house, and I have a P.O. box key now. So that's what I carry on my keychain because I hate carrying like a ton of stuff on my keychain. And so I've still got hand sanitizer. I am really not liking how big this bottle is anymore, but this is the same bottle I've been using. I just keep refilling it over and over again from a larger jug that we have at home. I'm not a fan of this size bottle. I would love to get a smaller one, but that is where we are right now. I have a Larabar. So this is just sort of an emergency snack bar. This is a really great brand of bar, I find. It works even for like really clean eating for the most part because their ingredients are extremely natural and just very good. For instance, this one is just dates, almonds, and unsweetened cherries, and that's it. So they're very natural. Some of them will have more ingredients, but most of them are pretty good. So I use Larabar brand bars as kind of like an emergency snack thing, just because it complies for the most part with almost any plan that you can think of. So anyway, also I've got my Pacifica brand lip tint just for keeping lips moist because it's hecka dry here. A lighter because, I don't know, fire starting source, right? I honestly don't know, but I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, how can you not carry a lighter? Like, what if you did need to start a fire? But it's like, I have stuff in my car kits that I'm building for fire starting, but I don't know. I just feel like I can't be without a lighter. Like, I feel like it's really necessary. A Sharpie, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, I feel like a lot of times a Sharpie comes up. It comes up quite a lot more than you think it might. To have a Sharpie is like just super handy for writing, labeling. Somebody says, hey, does somebody have a Sharpie? And then I say, by the way, I actually do. And everyone's like, oh, well, that's so awesome. I don't know. It comes up a lot. I have a pen. This is my pen. And that's kind of one of those things too, like when you're out and about nowadays, I am just sort of at this point where I don't really like using the pens that are out places. So I just use my own pen almost exclusively. But this is my zero waste fountain pen, and so it's got the refill. So I have a bottle of ink I refill it from. Oh gosh, that's actually looking like I need to refill it pretty soon. And so this is great, and I really love it, and it makes me feel really cool to whip out a fountain pen. I know it's not actually cool, but it's one of those things that makes dorks feel cool. So it's not cool, but it makes me feel cool. So in one of these larger pockets, I actually have a fan. This is an updated item. So, because I live here, it is hecka hot. And in summer, this is one of the most amazing things that you can have on hand, is a fan. Like for when it's hot somewhere, whatever, you can just fan yourself. Like, you know, a lady in church or whatever, and everybody looks at you maybe somewhat jealously. They might give you some weird looks, but every now and then the looks I get, I think people are like, oh, I wish I had a fan. But I have a fan. Anyway, it's also for my daughter to fan her, like when she's feeling hot. But also it's funny how this was originally just about the heat. This has come up so often too. There was one time, for instance, my daughter and I were waiting somewhere, and there was this bug that kept just bothering her. And I don't know what it was about her, but this bug was like, would not leave her alone. So I just started fanning all around her to keep that bug off. And that helped her. I have fanned her many times when it's been hot. It also, even though it's got holes, it works relatively well as like a shade. If you don't have anything else, you can kind of have a shade going. The other thing that came up though, which I thought was really interesting, was we were doing we went up north and we were just hanging out, cooking with the firebox and all of that. And then just the wood was wet. Smoke kept billowing out. It was a windy day, and you never know how the smoke is gonna go. And so I had this fan with me, and I was able to fan the smoke down so that it wasn't getting in my face. And so we were able to sort of keep the smoke out of people's faces using the fan that I had in my backpack. So that was pretty cool. So pretty neat. I was like, hey, I will share about that fan. I love that fan. Also here, it's weird here too, because you would think you would never use that in winter, but actually it comes up in winter too, because I don't know what it is, but it's like suddenly everywhere is super hot in the middle of winter, but then everything is freezing in the summer. So even indoors, sometimes in certain places, it's like sweltering. Like when I take my daughter to her dance class, and the studio for some reason is just so hot. And so I'm like fanning myself inside in the middle of December. Anyway, Swiss Army knife, super little one. Love this thing. So I have a, like you said, I have my Gerber multi-tool, but I also have my little Swiss Army knife, and this thing also I use all of the time. Sometimes you'd rather use a smaller tool than a larger tool, but also this one has a few things that the multi-tool does not have, such as tweezers, which also kind of come up more than you think they would. Splinters, stray neck hair. That's more because, I'm like pushing 40, but hey, let's be real. Sometimes you're suddenly just like, where did that thing come from? And then you can pluck it before you go in somewhere and embarrass yourself. The toothpick too comes up very often. The little tiny scissors, the little blade. And for me, I think one of the most used things on this thing is actually the screwdriver, because while I have a screwdriver on my Gerber multi-tool, and it's great, it's clunky to turn that whole thing. And then also sometimes, because although this is kind of more stuff I think that I should be putting in the review. For instance, if you have a screw that is recessed into the thing that you're trying to unscrew. So these screws are great, but like for instance, sometimes this is still too fat to fit down into a recessed screw, if that makes sense. So sometimes the smaller Swiss Army knife one will fit when this one won't, even though this one still works really well. Tin with dice, I've discussed before. I raised my kids before tablets and phones and stuff. So my oldest son is actually, he's almost 21. So my daughter's birthday and my son's birthday are very close together. So she's almost 4, he's almost 21. And my other son is 15. And I raised my kids without electronics and without stuff. So waiting at tables in restaurants, waiting to get into doctor's appointments, waiting for, whatever situation where you have to wait somewhere. This dice game has come out more times than I can count. It's dented, it's old. I've carried this for a very long time. These are dice that I made myself out of polymer clay. It's a set of 6 dice. Mostly we play Farkle, but it does come up, you can do, yeah, look at how dented and old that is. But anyway, that has followed me from purse to purse to purse to purse. It's so many of them. But it comes up too is like math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, numbers, and all of that, and building towers and doing, like so many things have come up with those dice. So I just keep those dice in my purse. It's not so much, Sage doesn't really get into them so much yet. I think that one is kind of more of a nostalgic thing, but at the same time, if we're all waiting together kind of at a restaurant, we do still bust that out and play Farkle together. And I like it. It's kind of nostalgic. It reminds me of when my giant boys were littles. So anyway, this is a brand new thing. I am still testing out. This is one of the things I have just added like in the last few weeks. And I am still trying to figure out if I even like it in there. This is making my purse feel too full. It is an experimental herbal kind of first aid kit. Now this one has peppermint in it as well, but this peppermint is diluted so that you can use it on your temples for like headaches and stuff. I have one empty of these that I'm going to put salve in, and this one is holding a couple of digestive enzyme pills, and there's just other stuff in here. Anyway, I don't want to get too into that, like I said, because I'm still kind of testing it, but at some point there probably will be a video on my little herbal Altoid first aid kit. So that is everything in the big pocket. So there's two other pockets. This is kind of another little thing I like about this purse. I feel like it's really clever. This one is a long one down the side, and so in this pocket I keep a comb, which I carry for my daughter, which actually I'm like, I didn't know that was in there. Just the other day I was thinking I should start carrying a comb with me, but I already was apparently. Okay, a spare pad. Even though for the most part I use a cup, but just, you know, just in case something happens, I'm out and I don't have my cup with me and I need it all of a sudden, like if something sneaks up on me, I don't know. Or also, it has also come up in the past where, you know, somebody will be like, does anybody have a pad? You know, like asking in hushed tones, and I'm able to give that away to someone. So toilet paper. So I just basically, I don't use it like a ton, but it's, you know, really a healthy amount of toilet paper. I just sort of wrap it around quite a while on my hand and then just tear it off and then store it flat in my purse, because you just never know. Sometimes you end up in a stall that doesn't have toilet paper, even though like now in my life, I look every time before I sit, because after you sit and have already done your business is not the time to find out that the stall you're in does not have toilet paper. And that has happened to me before. So I carry it with me, but also I make it a habit to look and make sure that there is toilet paper. But there are also times when you go places and there's no toilet paper and you have no options. Like if you go to a place that has only one bathroom, you need toilet paper. So I just always carry some with me. I don't know. I think I've used it maybe once or twice, but still, it's like, it doesn't take up any room. It's really light, and yeah, I'm gonna keep it. So I have a mirror, just, you know, to look at myself. Wouldn't you want to look at yourself if you were me? No, I'm kidding. But I'm seriously kidding. Nobody comment down below like I'm a jerk. But anyway, it's just handy. And I've always thought, you know, what about like a signal mirror? But honestly, it's just to do a quick check if you don't want to take out your phone, or if there's some situation where you can't have your phone, or I don't know, maybe your phone is up here because you're filming something and you want to look at something, so you have a mirror instead. I don't know. Anyway, I just have a mirror. I just feel like that's kind of almost like with the lighter. We're like, why would I not carry a mirror? I feel like I need to carry a mirror. This is kind of the most popular item out of last year's EDC, I think. And this is my blinged out eye gouger flashlight. So Adam got this for me kind of as a joke. I'm trying to remember. I think he says he bought it off of the Snap-on truck at work. So basically it is a flashlight, obviously, so I'm not going to shine it in y'all's faces, but it's got, you know, rhinestones all over and it's super cute. But the thing is, it's like also an eye gouger. So it's like, anyway, it comes up a lot. I'm constantly using a flashlight. If I park somewhere in the dark, we have a lot of communities around here, and actually entire cities that in the Phoenix metro area where they don't do light pollution at night. So there's places where you won't even have street lights on. And so if you park somewhere and you have to walk out to your car or whatever, you have to have a light. And just in general, it just comes up more times than I imagined. Back before I put one in my purse, I have a flashlight, and it just comes in handy so often. So I would never not be without a flashlight. And to that end, I have a spare battery for the blinged out eye gouger. So that is what is in this pocket here. And then my final pocket is this kind of secret one in the back. So when it's on me, this pocket is invisible. That pocket is where I carry cash if I ever happen to have cash on me, or if I'm carrying an important document. It's also where, like, nobody uses business cards anymore at all, but very rarely somebody will ask, and so I have a couple of business cards in here. I don't, actually, I'm not even getting business cards printed anymore, but I just have like a few left, and so I have them in here. So yeah, this is the sort of secret pocket for things I want to keep super secret and super safe. And that about wraps up the EDC. So hopefully that was enjoyable to you and gave you some ideas. And like I said, it is entirely possible I am switching to a different bag to carry a few more things for my daughter, including this comb. That was news to me. I already put it in there and totally forgot. But yeah, things like I probably am going to put, I'm realizing now with the comb, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little hair tie and stick a hair tie in. Like Adam and I were just, for the weekend, we were out at like a big open nature area around here. And sorry, I'm trying, because I don't want to like necessarily say all the time like the places that we go to and stuff, because I don't know, it's kind of my OPSEC. I don't want to talk in specifics about the places that we go to. But we were there and the wind was blowing super hard. And so she was getting frustrated with the hair in her face, and I happened to have my ponytail in, so I just took off my own hair tie and gave her a ponytail. And I was thinking I need to get a ponytail holder in my purse that is just for her for times like that. So anyway, yeah, so I'm probably going to be adding to this and possibly needing to switch to a new purse. But yeah, there it is, such as it is. So hopefully that was helpful, like I said, and you got anything out of that. And as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.